So it was actually weird synchronicities, random things in life that seemed to line up. I definitely, well, like you say, it was the start of lockdown, and I think a lot of people can empathise with the feeling of being a little bit lost, like not sure what I was doing, because I'm a hairdresser. I weren't able to work, and I'm one of them. I've always worked, I've always done something, so I kept myself busy by listening to podcasts, and Egypt was really, really coming up for me a lot. So I was sat typing away, trying to find a nice podcast for a walk in the woods. And I found one with you on, talking about Anpu, Anubis, as some people know him, and talking about some Cometian philosophies and meditation. And I was listening to it, and I thought, wow, this woman's amazing. She knows so much. And at the end of the podcast, you just said, if anyone's interested in doing the meditation, just send me a message and I'll get it sent across to you. So I sent you a message, and I think one of the first things you said was like, what country are you from? Or something like that. And I was like, I'm up north, which was crazy because the woman whose podcast it was Canadian. So it was kind of like UK to Canada to back to UK. And we just got talking. And then I believe it might have been on that call or a call that we did a few days later, but you said that you had the idea of doing the Violet Flame of a Menti course online and you weren't too sure how it was going to work. And I just knew it was the right thing for me. And I was really, really excited about it. And that was where we started off, wasn't it? The Violet Flame of a Menti.
And I think we had 3 or 4 people on that very first course, didn't we?
Yeah, we did actually.
Yeah.
Which was brilliant because I'd never done a Zoom call before. So I was really nervous. I weren't sure how to do it or if it was going to be really complex, but you just sent all the information across basically. You were really good, sent everything on WhatsApp that I needed so I could just press the button and be on the call. So yeah, and we kind of went through the Violet Flame of a Menti, which I really enjoyed. I had my first ever attunement, which I didn't even know what an attunement was. I'd received 2 Reiki healings in my life prior to working with you, and I'd never seen myself as a healer. I'd never seen myself in any connection to it. I knew I was enjoying my spiritual journey, and this just seemed to be the direction we went. So then you mentioned about how you was thinking about doing RSC1 online, and you weren't sure how you were going to do it. So then we ended up going through the modules, didn't we? If that's right. I can't actually remember what order we did them in now, though.
I think you did chemitology first, because the thing is, Violet Flame was always a sort of add-on to Reyad Sekh Em. But it was featured slightly in the syllabus, and you did get an attunement in the original course that I used to teach in person. So that was already created in a way that was very easy to roll out in a sort of modular virtual form, whereas the others had to be chunked up, if you like, into some kind of subject. So we did chemitology, which people watching this might not know what that is. So effectively, Chem is the ancient name for Egypt that they called their own land many, many years ago. So it's the indigenous name, if you like. And I had an indigenous tutor who died in 2008, called Hakim. And he told me lots of things about Egypt that are different from what you would learn if you study it in Egypt. Or indeed anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world. If you were studying history, you wouldn't be learning these same facts and figures. So I found it very fascinating. The most captivating thing was that he said there was the possibility for 360 different perceptions, which blew my mind somewhat. But also just that he said the pyramid was much older and the Sphinx was much older than we're led to believe, and so on. So that course was the second module. And then the rest of that level, which was just an introductory level, is seeing angels and chakra balancing, wasn't it, and unity consciousness?
Yes, yeah, which was amazing. Again, seeing angels, I had no concept of what they were. I'd heard of angels with the big fluffy wings, and that was my understanding of angels at that point. So through the Essene Angel course, we really went into a lot of work with them. We worked with them a lot. Looking back to it, I feel like we were just always drawing symbols and things like that, which I really, really enjoyed, which again, I had no concept of what it was beforehand, but you really, really explained it. And I realized it was something in theory that I'd been working with a long time. I just had no idea that there could have been a connection there. And then I believe at the same time, were you finishing off your forest bathing course?
Yeah, well, I think when we first met, I'd already finished the training, but I was still running the case studies.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
it's the mindfulness part of it, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, because
yes.
we decided between us that it would be quite beneficial for me to kind of have some mindfulness, and it kind of worked out perfectly that that's exactly what you needed to do a case study on. So that was another form of mentoring that we did together. So we did the RSC1, the Violet Flame, and then we also did the mindfulness, which kind of connected to the mindful chakras. Which was really, really helpful for me, because we kind of went through tools. As I suffer with depression and anxiety, we kind of talked about what triggers could be and just ways that we could kind of help work with it in a way. I always remember we were talking about breathing techniques, and to this day, when I find myself in a really anxious position, I will do the breathing techniques, and I find that they're really beneficial to me. So that was really, really enjoyable. And then we finished RSC1, and instantly I was like, I need RSC2. But we had a little pause, didn't we, for a few months just to finish doing case studies. And I think even though we weren't really doing one of the courses, we were still in contact quite a lot of the time, just regarding lots of different things. Which I really, really enjoyed. And then we began RSC2, which was
only in December, actually.
God, yeah, I'm there thinking November. No, it was December. And we've almost finished that now, and that's been an amazing journey. I mean, like I said earlier, I've never seen myself as a healer. It's just I felt almost I can't think of the word, but I just didn't dare give myself that title. Like, who am I to give myself that title? But through working with you and working through the syllabus, I realized that I am a healer, and it's kind of brought me to the awareness that everyone is a healer in their own in particular way. Everyone is a healer. And that's been so beneficial for me, because, like I say, as being a hairdresser through lockdown, I've had no income really. Sadly, like, I've been in that position that I know a lot of people have been in, where you don't get government grants, you don't get anything. It's universal credit. So this has helped give me a tool through becoming a qualified healer, whereas now I'm looking at business opportunities where I'm still going to be able to earn while I'm inside and during a lockdown, which I never would have considered before. And it helps give me so much hope, and it gives me almost a bit more control back over my life, which I feel like a lot of us have lost over this time. So no, I'm just really thankful for everything.
Well, great, thank you. I mean, we left it a few months partly because a few more people caught up.
Yeah, there was another course, wasn't there?
Different courses by then of the first level, so we had enough to make a second level viable. And it was a bit weird how it worked out, because we had international people, didn't we? We had people in America and people in Australia and people in Europe as well. And so I ended up, when I offered level 2, I ended up having enough to run 2 courses, a daytime one and an evening one, which has been really exhausting, but never mind, fun as well. Yeah. And we sort of, although they do have a set time, if you want to, you can join the other group. And you know, you're in the daytime group actually, although your original group was an evening one, wasn't it? So you've met some of the other students from the different groups, which I think we've actually ended up, not meaning to, but we've actually ended up with a really lovely community of people who are very happy to help each other. And so it's not just me who's supporting you, I think, on this journey. You've got the support of the other participants as well, haven't you? Which has been really lovely.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. We're like we joke that we're like a little cohort or something. I love it. I mean, who would have thought I would have made so many friends during a national lockdown? I mean, an international lockdown, really. I mean, we've got people in Norway, we've got people in America, and it feels so connecting. And it's just so nice to know that you're not on your own. And sometimes, even if you don't feel like talking, but you can see in the WhatsApp group that people are chatting away, and it just makes you feel happy. It's like, oh, there's that connection there. There's the little family that's kind of grown from this. And like you say, I've been lucky enough to kind of, I think I've done almost every time slot throughout the different courses. So I feel like I've basically met everyone at this point, which is really, really nice.
Well, it's about 35 now, isn't there, that have been through the day? It's since lockdown. It's unbelievable, because I would normally do about 3 to 5 people a year. So 7 years worth have all gone through since lockdown. Okay, well, now the last thing that we've done together, which we're still in the middle of actually, is the moon alignment program, isn't it? And originally, when I set that up for the first new moon of 2021 to the second new moon, which is also the Chinese New Year, and the idea was to go through the lunar cycle with the mansion of the moon angels, 28 mansion of the moon angels. And originally, I think I said to you, the group of Reyad Sekh Em students, which actually means Reyad Sekh Em is the name of my system. So there are other versions of Sekh Em, Sekh Em, which means make complete, an ancient Egyptian healing system. And there's a bit more on my website, and indeed on Benjy's Instagram. He's put some fun things on there about Reyad Sekh Em. But anyway, yes, that's my own system. But I wasn't sure it was going to appeal to the students, because I thought it might be overlapping quite a bit with what they'd already done. But by the time I actually had finished creating the course, it was quite different to anything that they'd done. And we've had 18 people through the course, and 12 of them actually are fellow Reyad Sekh Em students, aren't they?
Yeah, it's so nice. I just get to see them all even more often than normal. I'm like, hi guys.
So how has that affected you compared to the other course? Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I've loved it actually. I mean, I knew instantly when you talked about it that I'd be really interested, because it's the moon and I'm a little moon boy. I've always loved the moon, staring up at it. But it's definitely brought some things that I didn't expect as well. So one thing that I didn't even consider was the fact of, so we have like a daily practice that we get to do on the course, and my day almost works around that now, which I didn't expect. But I do all my spiritual practice around it, and I like to set the same time for it. So it gives me a level of accountability that I quite enjoy, because I know that when I'm not on the course, I've got every intention of doing X, Y, and Z, but because I've got no reason to truly do it in that moment, I'll do other things instead. So I really enjoyed that. And what I really enjoy as well is working with the moon itself, and how we've learned about its energies and what it can bring in and what it can take away for you at different periods. It's given me a level of understanding on the moon that I really didn't have, and I feel like without having the course and having those daily reminders, I just couldn't have really got it anywhere else with this level of interactivity.
Thank you. Well, I mean, we've been working on vision boards as well, haven't we? So have you found that's been helpful with getting some other ideas together for something that you can weave in with hairdressing in case it is a long time before it goes back to being a viable option for you?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'll put my hands up and say I have never done a vision board before. I'd never considered it. I always thought it was one of those things that you kind of just did on Pinterest and never looked at it again or something like that. I hadn't really understood the concept at all. But it's actually something I'm really excited about now, and the idea of waking up every day and seeing it there. I've got a space on my wall where it's going to go. I'm really excited for it. And it's making me think a lot more about things that I've not really considered, like, what do I want to get from this year? Where do I want to be this time next year? What are these kind of goals that I'm setting for myself? And I'm really enjoying it, because it's not just, oh, I want this house, or oh, I want this or this. It's, what feelings
Not that
do you
there's
want?
anything wrong with that, by the way.
No, not at all. But there's so many aspects to it. It's like, where do you want your career to go? Where do you want your home to go? Relationships, personal development, all these different things that I think without it, I would have just kind of floated along by without even considering. So I'm really enjoying that aspect to it as well, actually.
So, okay, to summarise then, we've amazingly only known each other for about 8 months or something, which seems unbelievable. But anyway, we have spent a lot of hours on the same screen, albeit with lots of other people in some cases. But yeah, we've had quite a lot of screen time shared. But how, I mean, can you summarise what difference it's made, if you like, to the person you were when you first heard that podcast?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the best way of explaining that would actually be from something my partner said to me a few weeks ago, actually, and he just commented on how much more grounded I see him, and how things can happen, and the old Ben would have really gotten a muddle about it, especially kind of everything going on in the world and in my own professional life. And he just says I'm brighter. he just says I seem so much brighter, and I feel that. I feel like I know what I want to do with myself now. I've got all these tools that I would have never considered using. I just feel a lot more sovereign is the word that I think would match that. I feel more in control of my own life than I ever have before.
Well, thank you. I know when you first helped me with my case study for the mindfulness, which was a little unit of forest bathing that we have to do, and I didn't think I would ever be teaching mindfulness exactly like that, although I have brought it into the chakra course, but I needed to teach it at least once to somebody as per the syllabus, and you were the volunteer for me very kindly.
Yeah,
and
me.
Yeah, when I submitted the form in, there was a period where you'd gone through, which had obviously been quite a stressful week, and you said something like, I don't know where I would have been if I hadn't come across you. And I just that brought a tear to my eye. It was so sweet.
Honestly, it's true, because I think I speak for everyone when this has been one of the hardest years that we've ever had, and I don't know where I would have been without meeting you and learning about all these things. It has been such a gift, and I can only think that it was something that was meant to happen.
Well, I feel I was meant to meet you as well. It hasn't all been me giving and you taking by any means. I mean, I think apart from anything else, you volunteered to be my case study that I needed, which really helped me. But also, I think it was just a breath of fresh air to have somebody very young in the group as well, or younger than my usual audience, if you like. So that's been refreshing. And it's been really lovely to have you on board, helping us develop the Insta program and all the things that young people enjoy today. So yes, it's been very much a two-way thing. So thank you for listening to. I didn't even know I was on Spotify, by the way. Apparently that's where you found me. I don't know, it must have been the Canadian wonderful lady who put it together, Linda. She must have uploaded it to Spotify, but I didn't even know I was on there. So that was a magical moment for me. Yeah. So thank you so much for coming into my life as well, and thank you for helping to explain to the people who might be watching this, who can't really visualize what these programs might actually translate to in real terms. Then just hearing your journey has been very, very interesting and helpful, I hope. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, and hopefully I'll be able to see some of the beautiful people that watch this on one of your future courses at some point.